what's happening now is that if the tools are really good, you don't need to interact so strongly with the product company. You've divided up the task of innovating, like in these integrated circuits. You divided up the task between the user need-intensive components and the components that the manufacturer is good at. And because the toolkit is designed properly, you reduce the interaction. If you look at this complex interdependency question that you're asking is a question that is less important now progressively than it was. You'd be happy to know. So read like chapter 12 in the book or something like that, and you'll see the story. Is that okay? I'm like one of those authors, but I'm just giving you a free book instead of trying to sell you one. So yeah, that's not
working for invention as well as entrepreneur. What I could see, time taken for invention is 100 times less than implementation,
yes.
Particularly in India
Yes.
and developed country, I hope so. How to overcome here? What's the problem coming? The patents do not get importance, and they are infringed by the higher authority in the government, particularly if the system or the invention connect to the government application, then this problem is coming up. So we the inventors getting very much regard for our future, how to get help out.
What we find is that actually intellectual property is fading away. We surprised you. But really, in the era of open source software and so on, and free sharing, what's happening is that intellectual property is getting less and less important. And companies have to depend more on things like speed to market and so on and so forth. So the government will have less to do with it also. They won't choose you up. We'll never change the government, right?
Thank you very much.
Very long. Lunchtime we have more time. Yes.
I would like to make a supporting comment to what Professor has just said. It is mainly that on the field of robotics we are talking about. There is a very big project which is being commissioned by the European Union, and it is called SME Robot, and which is basically creating intelligent machines for small and medium-sized manufacturers. And the manufacturers here are basically the users of these machines, and they are the ones who are actually initiated this entire process. And so, of course, this is one real example happening in the European Union, that the users are demanding an innovation for these type of intelligent machines. And what the big manufacturers of these machines are doing, they are providing toolkits in forms of software or in terms of intelligent machines, which the users can basically use to create these demands, and they are being utilized that way. So this is really a nice example of the entire thing.
Exactly right. And in fact, we now are working with governments, and Denmark is the first government to actually make this national policy. And we're now working with the OECD and so on. So you will see a vast transition in the way innovation is done is now occurring as a result of the internet, computerized tools, and so on. Very exciting and empowers the user. Thanks.
I think before you close, I would like to just mention two things which are very important for our society. One, what Dr. Reddy and Narayan did, one of them is a bioengineer, others is a project person. Yes. And both of them together invented something that manufacturers have not shown interest into have published it, many people have brought it out. They have not shown interest. That means that manufacturers, particularly in our context, for whatever historical reason, feel challenged by that pattern, and in fact try to stifle when good innovation comes. That is unfortunate. That is a cultural issue. Absolutely. And it is not just the Indian manufacturers, even the international manufacturers. When they operate in India, their behavior is no different from Indian manufacturers. That is one thing. We need to think about the way user networks can bypass it. So we will have to think about which happened in software, which happened in the manufacturing sector. And we will have to think about how different people will manufacture different components, given their advantage at low cost. So your cost becomes so low the manufacturer by pursuing corporate or the example that Kalman has used, control designing technology. Now it requires several changes. It requires changes in the standards. The government of India, for example, has changed the standard model, without which no bio company will go through. Because the standard decides what are the features, form, and features of a novel. So there are issues in our society which I am sure you have also faced because standards were an important driver of innovation companies.
That's just economics. I mean, the gas station company doesn't care. It sells the gas whether it goes into your tank or not. Right? There's only an added cost for them.
But for the country,
No, but then you have to go outside of the
That's
market
right.
to force the manufacturing.
that's right. So therefore, there will have to be cases where we have to bring public policy to promote innovations which are belong by the user but would not get adopted by the manufacturer because they have no incentive to do that. Because they don't support the market.
That's right. So the bottom line is, there's a tremendous change occurring again, and innovation in this area has to involve the system as well as individual innovation. And that's the kind of thing that you're trying to do.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate we will now move to the next session of the honor. I will request you to help us for the next session and the paper please. So the honor will help us. Kartik, would you like to share? Wonderful. Now this session, we are now having two sessions of graphic innovation, one before lunch, one after lunch. And they will speak in their language. And we will help translate for all of you who would not understand the language. Jita, who is going to present this? Can you speak it? The idea is to see whether the thinking processes in the informal sector can eliminate the creativity and innovation in the informal sector and vice versa. So I think that will keep our mind open not only about the technical per se, but the way it's thought about it. And that has a value. It has a great value.